For lesson 8, we are going to be learning about different validation methods and different math methods. I know some of you have already started validating your data, so now you will be able to use methods and you'll kind of learn the correct way to code the validation. So we're going to go through chapter 7. And at the beginning of chapter 7, we get into how to test single characters, and then we get into different validation methods. There's one to check to see if a string is null or empty. The one that I think a lot of you are interested in using is try-parse, because that will check the data that they have entered to make sure that the data type is correct. And as some of you may have found out, if you're entering data and you enter the wrong data type, normally that makes your program crash. And this can help prevent that. So we have all sorts of different methods that you are going to be looking at, in addition to looking at the different programming examples. And then finally, we're going to be looking at some math methods that you can use. And we've been using a random number method. And so these will be similar. They're in a math class. And a lot of them are statistical methods, but some of them will also round the numbers. So we'll be learning how to do all of that. And then you'll be getting lots of practice in the lab assignment. So once you finish the reading, you're going to do the understanding check and the lab assignment. And then you are going to go ahead and do our C# research discussion. For the research, you can research any topic that we have covered, or you can research topics that we have not covered. So anything in the C# realm that you are interested in. So I did post a little example that for you guys to look at. And we covered the list collection, but there are lots of other collections in C#. So if you're interested in learning about a different type of collection, you certainly can do research on it. So I did an example on the dictionary collection. So this is the link to the reference I used. And then, this is just kind of a summary of the information that was in the article. And I actually gave you guys a little programming example for a reference. Okay, so you guys don't need to give coding examples in your post unless you want to. So you just have to research a topic and then summarize what you learned. Okay, post a link to the resource and then read your classmates' posts and reply to 2 of them. Okay, so that is the last thing that you will be working on this week. And as I mentioned, the lab assignment is going to give you practice on what you have learned. And there are 3 different exercises. The one that's probably going to be the most challenging is the password validation. So make sure you'll notice that there's videos that go with each exercise. Make sure you watch this video because that will help you complete the 3rd exercise. If you run into problems or if you have questions, please let me know. And it is super helpful if you copy any code that doesn't work. Don't send me a screenshot of it because that's not very helpful for me to debug it. Now we're getting kind of to the point where I might have to start debugging it and I don't want to re-enter your code. So take all of your code, copy it, paste it into an email and send it to me. That way I can copy the code and put it into Visual Studio and help you debug it. Okay, so make sure you send me all the code. As you look through here, you'll notice I did include all of the PDFs that are linked into the ebook. And then I do also have quite a few additional resources down here on all of the different methods that we covered this week. So if you have questions, problems, let me know, and have an awesome week.